Oh, that didn't work like I wanted it to. That's all right. We're still here. We're still moving. We're still alive. So off I go. So we've been spending 2 days on this project, and really, though it's been like, I spent 2 days on this. I really only spent 2 hours on this project, which is exactly what I should be spending. Wanting the people at Airship 27 to validate and verify. I don't want to do too much to this and then have them say, no, we hate the angle, or we hate the look of it, or, something like that. So I'm doing a lot of this with just rough sketches, and then we can figure out from there whether it works or not. So I'm going to go ahead and share the old screen. There we go. So there we go. We got ourselves sharing. So I'll bring up my instructions as well, so that they are on the screen, because I need to know what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. All right. So we are on Helios 6. We've already done 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to move on to 6. 6 here is poorly drawn. I'm just saying, it's poorly drawn. So I'm going to go on ahead and just clean it up a little while we're at it. Right, so let's give myself a nice, decent, not the hard lines brush. I can tell what I was working on last. Probably not that brush, although that could be fun. I'm going ahead and make a smaller brush here. And no, see, that's going to be too much. Too much. But it might not be bad for here. Okay. Right, so just going in here and just making this much more reasonable. She's probably wearing some kind of skirt. So though I've drawn in the lower body, I'm going to go on ahead and just indicate that she's got a skirt on. This is a female character. Odds are good she's wearing some kind of skirt of some sort. So, okay, doing this here, going up here, get her hair in, which probably would be flying all over the place is my thought. So this indicates that the hair is all over the place. That's all right, I can do that later and not have to worry about it. So there we go, we're getting some flyy hair. She's using magical-esque powers at this point in time, so we're going to go on ahead and magical-esque while we're at it. So give back side of her arm there, give this there like this. I'll go, like I said, I'll go back just before we do this and I'll read all of these scenes, reread them to make sure that everything fits, right? The other thing that was in here, it's not on this drawing, is that the main character is right here, one of the main characters, watching her do this amazing thing. So I'm going to put him here, right? Then the sails are being deployed, so we're going to go on ahead and do that. Like, give some information that the sails are being dealt with. That's what these are. These are huge sails in this ship being deployed. So there we go. And then we're going to go on ahead and highlight so that I know where parts of her are. Like this. Because, of course, part of this is that I've done a lot of gray work here, but didn't finish this drawing. All right, so There we go. Do a little bit of that, do a little bit of that, and we're all good. And come around here on the back side. So there's like a double lighting technique that I usually use. And, you know, it's sort of my default go-to. For people who don't know what three-point lighting is, what were you doing in art class? Which is funny because, of course, not everybody took art class like I did. But three-point lighting is where you have, it's like the standard, the gold standard. Hey, Brent, welcome to the show. The gold standard for regular lighting. And you know, some people didn't take art class. I don't know. They're all crazy. I don't know. It's just me. It's funny because for me, art was awesome, but math was horrible. And so I actually was just having this discussion with my stepmother just a few minutes ago. Because she was the complete reverse. She hated art. She loved taking math classes. And I'm like, oh, who loves to take math classes? What kind of aliens are you people? Okay. So I ended up going on the wrong layer, as you might imagine. That does not surprise me in the least. That's right. I'm going to merge these two layers later anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, but it still is aggravating. But yeah, hey, photography's cool. I like photography quite a bit, actually. That's my second job, is photography. It's what I do. Okay, so I'm just using just a standard come on, boy. So what I was saying, Brent, was, boy, I am not having a good day today. I just started out rough, you know. I slept through my alarm and couldn't get my coffee organized. The commute was hell. Oh, okay. That was funny. Only funny to me, though. However, on the flip side, I did get a notice from Shapeways saying that my tiny ships are on their way. That's always a plus. I love tiny ships, and I love to work on the tiny ships, so there's that. Okay, so I want to look up here on her face. Like, we don't have a face for her. I actually have not decided yet what these characters look like. So that's going to be on my to-do list pretty soon here. Give her face some shape. Looking to define that shape. And the eyes are like right up here. And her hair is like this. Yeah, okay, doing that number. I'll go through here for where her nose is. So all I'm doing there is just defining shapes. Nothing major. We'll do the same thing with him. Give him some shape. Oh. Highlight the side of his face that we can, that's towards the, all right. I love paintbrushes. This is a watercolor brush. That's what I was trying to say earlier and could not because reasons. My watercolor brush, it's good because I can be really light like this or be really heavy, and I can get different, make one of them look like Troy. Yes, Troy, you were a cameo in my illustrations I did. You can blame Brent for it. I should make her look like Chelsea, and then it'd be Troy and Chelsea. And then trouble ensues when everybody's like, wait. Did you actually make our likeness? No, I'd never do that. Oh, crap. I put this out on video, didn't I? Okay. I've cleaned this up a little. I'll do a little bit more over here as well. What are we in? White? That's what we're in, white. Do a little bit more there to kind of illustrate that we've got kind of this thing going for it. And some shape. Then one like Emily. Yeah, I guess the sizes are kind of roughly equivalent. That'd be kind of cool. Make one of them Emily, make one of them Troy. It'd be fun. If anybody is watching this and doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to the members of Rocky Mountain Geek Tank, which is our weekly geeky podcast. Hey, weekly geeky podcast. I kind of like the way that sounds. It's a good thing I recorded this, because now I'll remember what I was saying. Okay. So for those of you who are joining for the first time, I am doing illustrations here for a novel, but the head artist and the authors group want to verify the art before giving it a green light. Warhammer is totally geeky. So because they want to green light this, I don't want to put too much time into these illustrations to have them say, oh, we'd like this reversed, or we'd like the scene from behind her, or we don't want him involved in it, but we want more of an upward angle, or, you know what I mean? If they do too much of a change to the design, then I'm not going to, then I will have devoted 4 or 5 hours to a picture to have them say, throw it all out. So I'm just doing these in rough sketch form, which is why you're getting all of them at the same time, right? These are all 8 of the illustrations that are in the book. And so there's, sort of, that's what we're doing here. This is not the final product. In fact, these aren't going to be, the only thing that will be rescued from this is maybe the size. I might take one of these straight off of here and set the size that way. So there's always that. Now I'm going to raise my watercolor brush, because I'm going to go out here and do this. So I illustrate the sky is a little bit grayish or whatever, just giving some feel to the sky, so that there's a feel to this. You want to know what the feel of this piece is going to be. All right. So that's more like what the feel of the piece is. And that way, we don't have to look at our hands. Who was it? There was like some artist that said that the way to draw hands was to start with a conical shape and then add 2 spherical shapes at the bottom. And then while everybody's realizing that you have just drawn a penis, you don't let them know that you didn't draw the hands. I don't think there's an artist out there that likes drawing hands. Ugh. I think most of us hate it. Okay. There we go. Adding in some shadow down here, deep shadow for our main character. Okay, so I'm going to call 6 pretty much done. I'm happy with it. Yeah, see, that's just because you're weird, David. All the rest of us normal artists, because all artists are normal, right? You could believe that. Quantifying that by being just goofy, because the truth is that there are no normal artists ever. Okay. David's saying that he likes to draw hands and feet. And I just think he's just weird. He's just weird. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in. Now that I've done this, I'm going to grab some of this blue that I had before. And put that in here. Now this I'm going to go through with a pencil. Once I find my pencils. One thing I would love to see in Photoshop would be something that allows me to excise a whole bunch of brushes so that I only have 3 brushes or 4 brushes. The the 4 brushes that I use all the time, you know? So I'm just going to go in here and illustrate the point of this here. Because we don't know. I want to just show what. Really? All right. Just want to show what's going on so you can see what's happening here. And fingers are so difficult. But this way, you can at least see what's happening now. All right? And then we'll zoom in. Yeah, like some kind of quick select for brushes so that I can select the 5 brushes that I've got. I mean, because right now when I hit brushes, I get every possible brush that I could ever use. And of course, the more you go on being an artist, the longer you accumulate brushes, right? And so it'd be really nice if I could just have this brush and that brush. And see you later, David. Thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate it. Really? And then her hair is going everywhere. Like this. She's mastering the wind, so I assume her hair will be everywhere. All right. Like I said, I will double check. 1 hour, Andrew. I usually draw for 1 hour every day, and I'm going to just keep posting. And some people have been saying they've been just enjoying knowing that I'm out here. So that's really what I'm doing. You guys are keeping me company. I'm keeping you company. I think that's fair. So, and I don't know, Andrew, if you've been with me since the beginning, but I'll give a little brief rundown of what we're doing again so you can kind of catch up. These are illustrations for a novel, and I'm going to be doing the illustrations for the novel, and these are the roughs. I'm just giving a rough idea because the artists, the head artist of the group wants to validate and verify that they fit the story and the narrative, and they have an idea of what's going on, and I'm okay with that. That's cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing 1 hour a day so far. We're 3 hours in, or this is my 3rd hour, I guess I should say. And I've got all the illustrations kind of going on the board. At least this gives some idea of what's going on. Once I complete that, then I'll send this off to the head artist and the guy in charge, and they'll look it over and they'll validate it. If they like it, then I'll start working on each individual piece. So the novel, it's written by Nancy. Oh, come on. I've got it right here. Nancy Hansen. She wrote the novel. It's called The Silver Pentacle. And it's a I would call it a steampunk adventure story, which I really enjoy. So The artwork is going to be steampunkian. It's going to be lots of. It's a post-apocalyptic steampunk, so there's an interesting sort of twist there. I like it a lot, and it's a good story. So that's what's going on here. There are 8 Ilios in this, so 8 points where they are putting in the illustrations. And so I've already done Elio 1 and sent it off and then got it back and then sent it off and then got it back. And it's really doing nothing more than establishing the world as post-apocalyptic. It's, big robots fighting each other, which is fine, but doesn't fit the theme of the remainder Ilios. So that's sort of where we are. I'm putting together the rough drafts for all these other Ilios and kind of getting an idea of where we're going with it. So that's the spot where we are, and my cat has decided to join me and meow at me. And she does not, in fact, want scritches. That's fine. Okay, so we were on Elio 6. I'm going to finish putting in the main character's face, and then I'm going to call this one good on this. So that kind of face here, he's a chiseled chin sort of guy. We are underneath, aren't we? Here, let's try this again. He's a chiseled chin sort of guy. Put him in there. He's looking up like this. Well, thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. And then he's probably awestruck a little bit. Oh my. Oh my. At least this will tell me what's going on. So the point behind here is not to draw this well. The point behind here is to draw enough that it makes sense. And then I'll go back later and draw them well. Like I said, nothing of this art is going to survive except the concepts. So I don't want to spend too much time making sure I've got his chin right or figuring out what he looks like or anything like that. Because then we might have a problem with the art, or he might say, don't put Jocelyn so close, or don't put her so far, or, move them around. Maybe he's standing up here doing this and she's not. So the idea behind this is to do this quick and dirty and not have to worry about it. So, okay. Now I'm going to call 6 pretty much okay. I'm going to go to 7. 7 didn't get a lot of love as far as brushwork goes. So we're going to go back all the way down here. Find that watercolor brush that I like. Did I like these brushes? Was this what I wanted? I don't think this is what I wanted. I feel like I had a different brush for this. Maybe this brush. This brush? Yeah, that brush. Very small, that brush, but that brush. Okay. So bring this down. Ooh, not that much. Like there. That's good. And all I'm going to do here is just give some definition to this. Right? He's got his hand out. He's waving. So I'm just putting definition in. Whoop, that's too much definition. Like that. And we go through here and just color in his clothes like so. This gives me the feel. We've got this guy here, and he's just kind of going along and doing his thing, and he's yelling at people, because that's an important part of this whole thing, is to yell at people, apparently. Then, because they're running out the guns. And that's where we are in this story, is they're running out the guns. So I'll put this right here. And this is one that right there, like that. Right, and then go through here like this. Okay. And then we've got the guns, the aforementioned guns. So we want them to be dramatic and dark. Right? Yep. Bang, bang. Except I think these are boom booms. So maybe boom boom. But since these are canon, I'm going to make them dark, really dark. This can be like this, but that guy's got to be dark. I'm even thinking of doing that. There we go. Then outside, going ahead and put in the clouds and stuff like that. It's out here. You can see the, and even though sky is usually bright, in this instance, you kind of want it to be dark because what you want is to draw in attention to the schooner that's sitting out here. So I want people to be looking into the important part here, which is not this ship, right? We don't want it to be the ship in question, our hero ship. We want people to see this. There's another ship out here, and we want that to be very, very obvious. So what I'm doing is doing that, and then I'll put in here, and then there'll be like shadows, right? Because there's always this cross shadow from the light coming in the window. How much is that light in the window? Okay, you did not in fact tune in to hear me sing, and I get that. I mean, I'm sad, but I get that. Yeah, I mean, this is steampunk, and they're all flying ships. So they're. I haven't decided what the ship looks like, but it's a flying ship of some sort. I'm actually going to check the scene on this one. Oh, well, I don't want you to search this. This is not what I'm after. I guess scrolling on Photoshop does not, in fact, do what we're scrolling on here. There we go. Okay, no matches. Okay, well, fine. So the instructions come from I'm now looking through the entire thing here. Wondering why there isn't an illustration for the main character when we first see her. It's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, illo is the word we're looking for here. All right. Okay. So we've got this part of the story. We've got a great fight going on between two ships, and they're airships. So it's going back through this here. We've got Huh. They may not be actually airships. Now that I'm looking at it. Maybe I just got the impression they were airships. Maybe I need to read slower. So I am not the world's fastest reader. And they kind of wanted me to get started on this. It doesn't matter. Either way, this could be waves. This is one of the other reasons why I specifically, good heavens, I have been getting calls all day for my warranty being extended. I wish people would just leave my warranty alone. So maybe these are ocean waves right here, and that's okay. That'll work too. And then I'll just put that out here. I don't know how I got the impression. You know what it is? I know that this is a steampunk novel, so I'll bet you that when we got to this point, then we probably, in the book, I just assumed it was airships because I'm an idiot on that one. That's probably it. But this is the reason why the next step after this is to validate all of my artwork. I'll go back through and check it to make sure that each one of these fits the scene. So I'll reread the entire scene to make sure it fits in just fine. So there's that reason there. Okay. Now, one of the things I'm going to do now is, now that I have done this, it doesn't matter. This will still work the same way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, somewhere along the line, I think they just figured out that I had a car, and I'm not 100% sure how that worked, but they figured out that I had a car, and I don't know. Anyway, these are prow guns that he's rolling out here. And we'll put that in there. And I will, it's kind of, so do that. And again, with the hands, I've got another hand here. He's waving to the deck crew. He used to be an old deckhand, apparently. He's got military experience, he says, as a character. So I'll put that in there, and there. Just give some highlight to this so that we know who we're talking about here. We're talking about a dude who's yelling. Yarg! Get moving, you old scallywags. I like scallywags. That's a good name. All right. We'll come back in here at some point. Give him some, like, character of some sort. It's probably scruffy. Right? So we got the scallywags out here, scallywagging, and yeah, this ship is over here. The foxhole here. There's that. And she's got a prow like that. And there's some structure on the upper deck. And we're looking down the line of cannons right here. Right? So, there we go. So there we go. This is how this picture is going to roll out. Get kind of going on here like this. And make sure he's got that kind of stuff going. So he's telling everybody, get moving, get moving, get moving. Right? So, again, I will work a lot harder on all of the characterizations, making them look like real people, yada, yada, yada. It's got to look good here. This is where we want it to look good, is up here in this, you want it to look good at like that resolution, right? Because this is really what we're after. So, all right. Woo, doogie. Boy, it's been a morning. Not doing good on the lack of coffee thing, and haven't had enough coffee to be drawing appropriately and stuff. After this, I'm probably, theoretically, going to have another live draw, so you can join me for 2 hours today if you really want. You don't gotcha. That's okay. But I'm going to be working with Brian a little later on, and I don't even know what we're going to be doing, Brian and I, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. Looking at the perspective, I think I really want to make sure that I've got, I've cleaned up that perspective really good right there, because that's sort of sucky perspective. There we go. I know some of you guys were here with me yesterday. Perspective is one of my boogeymen as an artist. So I will be checking the perspective on all these pictures with 3D mannequins so that I will make the maquettes do all the hard, heavy lifting. Because, frankly, I suck at that, and it's one thing that will make me spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to get straight, and so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just not gonna bother. I just let the sun shine in. So okay, now moving into here. What are we on? Eraser? We're on eraser. Okay, moving into here. One more. See, I've forgotten what brush I was using. Oh, it's because we're still on pencil. Why are we on pencil? Because you were on eraser, that's why. I keep forgetting which one I was on, which I liked. That one? No, that one. That one. That or nothing. Okay, there we go. All I'm doing here in this stage with the gray is just to give the basic shadows, right? Because this is to illustrate what's going on in this scene. And we've got our hero is on his back right here, being stared down by the bad guy girl here, who's got a gun right in his face. He's not going anywhere. Right, so I'm just going to define the shapes here. See, that's not the brush I wanted. That one? Maybe that one. There we go. That's the one I wanted. I like the texture on this. Right? Okay. And then so all we're doing here is just defining rough shapes with the gray brush. And then I'll go back in with that blue. Do the same thing up here. We got this going on. Oh, look at. Okay. So she's got a cutlass. We were looking at this yesterday. She's aiming a gun at him right here. And I'll do that just to give some shape for her. One thing it did specifically call for is that she has goggles on her head, so I'm going to have to make sure I get those in. All right. I'm just making this dark around everybody. There we go. So we'll do that. Put the pencil in to show where we're going with this. We'll get closer. Like this. We got goggles that are broken on top of her head. And I'll figure out what those goggles are later. Alright. And then she's got crazy hair. Because she's crazy. And she's looking down at our hero. So I want to very much put her eyes way up on the top of her head like this and have her doing this, right? Because she's crazy. Right? Okay. She had way too much coffee today. She's crazy. I'm going to get rid of some of this over here, like that, because I did that wrong. I'm on the wrong layer too, but that's okay. Ultimately, we're going to have this be fine. So there we go. Yesterday, I was in this particular scene, and we were talking about how nasty this angle is. But I really want this angle, because this is, by the way, not cool. Sometimes as an artist, you just make your life miserable for no good reason. And that's one of the things we're doing right now, right? I got absolutely zero reason as to why I am making this so difficult for myself, except to make it difficult for myself, apparently. So there's always that. I've had lots of coffee. Isn't he having coffee? Okay. There you go. Alright. I'll even add a spring out like that so that it indicates this is really broken. Then he has an arm that's like that. I'll add scroll work to it because that sounds cool. There we go. And before I had her cutlass out like this, but I think I like the cutlass being more like this. Like, she's seriously, like, ready to just hack at him. Right? And that sounds like that'd be cool. I'll get some scroll work on her cutlass so that it makes some sense. You know, there is a certain amount of truth to that, my friend. Without challenge, there is no growth. That's all right. I like to be challenged. I like to have interesting things. It makes this a whole lot more interesting. As far as it makes life interesting, right? Here I am. I'm even not doing so hot this morning, but I'm going to get in here and I'm going to do this thing and we're going to get it done. Get her done. Because this is it. Once this is in and done, I don't have to worry about this for a couple of days, and we can do tomorrow, we can do some work on Bellatrix Rising, which would be good, because we've got a lot of things on Bellatrix Rising that needs to be worked on. I've got maquettes already rolled out for those guys. I feel like this is like a blunderbuss almost, but you know, we'll talk about this with the. There we go. Do that. Bring this around. Guess it's not really a blunderbuss, but in my world it is. So it's a flintlock now, and you know we can just deal with that. So here's the pan. I'm easily entertained. Okay. We knew that though. We knew that was the deal. Okay, we've got a barrel. He's just looking down the barrel. For right now, I am trying to make the feel of this, so I'm not worried too much at this point in time about hitting the exact beats on this. So I'm worried about the fact that I'm making this a little too steampunky and not quite enough, realistically matching the way that the artist or that the author has wanted the book yet, because I'm just trying to get the feel in. I'll go back in and check the book over and make sure we've got everything we need before I continue on with this, certainly. So there's that. Keep saying that to reassure, because of course, it's kind of weird to see pre-production art and you're like, well, it doesn't look like what you'd think it would look like. Yeah, it doesn't. It'll get there. Hi. We're not going to work. Here we go. So we got it going like this. He's putting his hands out like, oh, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, which, he would do. And you can find out what the fate of our hero is when we get the book out. Right? So here she is. We're going to make her hip go out like this. Like that. There we go. And that is that. And then some. There. Now he's really staring down the barrel of this gun. All right. Now we look at this, we look it over real quick. We've got about 10 minutes. I'm going to go on ahead and happy little scimitars and happy little flintlocks and happy little cannons. And you know what this cannon needs is a friend right over here. Another cannon. I'm easily entertained. So Andrew is saying that I could pull off a Bob Ross impersonation. I need fluffier hair. That'd be really cool if I had like fluffy hair like Bob Ross did. I liked his hair. But that's back to that old adage that you always want what you don't have. And I've never had fluffy hair. And so I really want fluffy hair. I would love that. That'd be the bestest ever. Okay. Write happy little trees in panel 4. Happy little trees. Which does remind me, I really want to get some environment in that panel. So I'm glad you brought that up. Because we are missing environment over here. There's happy little zombies over here. This is happy little zombies. So it looks like our little zombies need some friends. And so we're going to add some happy little friends to our zombies here. Just some happy little zombies. Happy little zombies. Okay. See, now I'm all into this battle plan. And now I've got to figure out what my wash pin is. Oh, what did I want for this one? I wanted that. I liked it. You? Yeah. No? You. No? Yes, you. All right. So, here we go. We're going to go back in and just add in... Oh, hey, let's not do that. Because that one doesn't look like what I wanted it to be. Although that is kind of cool. That is not what we're after. Is it you? No. Oh, this is why I wish Photoshop would fix this problem. Maybe you. Maybe you? Oh, no. No, no, no. Anything with the word detail, I think, is just... So I know it's one of these watercolor brushes that I like, and I can't remember it. Oh, I'll bet you it's this airbrush one. That, maybe? You? Oh, that's it. There we go. I like that one. There we go. I just add that in right through here. So... we're just adding in some environment here to give just a feel of what's going on. We want it to be, dark around the characters so that you draw your eye in. Your eye will be drawn into this. You don't want people looking up here and going, oh, it's up there, and trying to figure out what's happening up here, because all they're going to do is just get lost in the detail of the picture. So I want everybody's attention right here in this center section, right? Because that's what's going on. So I'm going to do the same thing with his back over here as well. I'm going to do that. And, the back of his arm and stuff like that. Because I really don't want people paying attention to this part of the drawing. I want them paying attention right here. This is where they need to be paying attention. And I'll actually go through and, just to make this illustration better, really want to make sure that they see that. Because that's the key, right? The key to that drawing is the glove that he pulls out. And I'm going to go back through and figure that all out. But the other key here is this guy it's hard to see what he's doing now because he was just a sketch earlier. So I'm going to actually erase this like this. Then I'm going to change this to brush. Bring that brush down a little. I go back in here now and just do this, right? And all I'm doing here is giving definition to the form. I'm just bringing the form up here and kind of doing that. And it's important because we're doing these things for an artist. You've got to be able to translate the data that you want to have here. So I want to be able to see, I want to show the other artist what I'm headed for, and I want them to see that I'm headed for illustrating this glove. It's not as important what this guy looks like. It's not as important except that his eyes, I want to make sure his eyes stay clear, because you want to have this expression look right here where he's doing the, holy crap, there's a thing with a thing and stuff. So I want to make sure that this is very illustrated and clear. I want to make sure that he's looking at it. I want to translate that data so that whenever you're looking at it from here, this distance, you can truly see that that's what that picture is going to say. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm a little bit early on finishing all of these guys. We're about 3 hours in on this, and I'm going to hit the save button because that would be a bad thing to lose this all right now to a blue screen. I had that happen last night. I think, Brent, you were saying that it was probably a driver problem. I've got a really hot NVIDIA card that I feel like it might be just a little bit faster than the system that it's in. So I kind of feel like that's the story on that. But there you go, guys. This is the end of this particular thing. And I'm going to switch back to my camera. There we go. So working on these commission things is, yeah, I know. I need to water cool everything. So somebody showed this really interesting case that was like wood. It was made from an oak barrel, like a whiskey barrel. And it was lit on the inside, and it had really neat like pipes and everything like that inside there, and a little pressure gauge. And I really liked that. That was a nifty effect. It was lit, and inside they'd put a little bottle of whiskey. I assume that came from the barrel that ultimately got made into the computer case. Thought that was, I like clever designs. At the moment, really, I don't feel like you might be able to pull that off, huh? I don't feel like it's running too hot just yet. So, it's still running okay. It's just every so often I overload it with way too many Photoshop things. Andrew, to answer your question, tomorrow I'll be working on model sheets for Bellatrix Rising. I have 2 new characters that are coming in tonight, so that I'll have my big 3 for the comic, and that'll be a good thing for me to be working on for tomorrow's 10 o'clock session. And in a few minutes here, I will figure out what Brian's doing, my buddy Brian, who's K and Sim. I'll figure out what Brian's doing, and then I might be doing a live feed with him starting at probably 11:30 or so. So I'll be broadcasting out there again. For those of you that are joining me on YouTube and Twitch and things like that, you'll have to come to my J.S. Davis art page on Facebook for that one, because we'll be using a StreamYard, which only allows me to broadcast to 2 locations. So there's that. I like Restream, but the problem with Restream is I can't invite anybody into my stream. So there are no guests here, just me. And that's fine until I want to co-draw with Brian. So there you go. That's my stream for the day. I'm going to leave about 4 minutes early here, or 3 minutes early, and go on ahead and grab some more coffee and stuff like that before I start my next stream. So join me in about 30 minutes or so, depending on whether Brian's alive. He may not be alive, so this might actually be this afternoon. We'll have to see. And then if not, I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. And I will, I enjoy having the company when I'm doing these things. These are hard enough to draw by themselves, so I enjoy having the company. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.